All right, so I'm finally back with another video, and today we're going to be doing an install on the Skyline R32. Don't worry, the S14 videos are coming shortly. After a 3-month wait, I finally have both tow hooks for the Skyline R32, and the first one we have for the front is a Kansai service tow hook. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Correct me if I'm wrong. But here is the tow hook, and we got some Japanese instructions. We'll use the pictures probably. Yeah, here's the front tow hook, and it's pretty sturdy. Here is a bracket that hooks onto the car, and it's simple. It's pretty much just one bolt, and this thing is actually built really well. It's really sturdy, and I like the way it's designed. And the good thing is you could unscrew the tow hook, so you can take it off whenever you feel like, and that way if you leave your car outside, you could just unscrew it, take it off. And yeah, it just bolts on to the, I guess, original tow hook that the car has, and just comes out of your front lip. So if you don't have the front lip, it's just going to come out the bottom end. But we're going to go ahead and install this thing right now. I'm trying my best to show you guys how to do it. So I have the tools here to install it. It's just a wrench and a socket, an extension, and the Allen key. This is the biggest one I had, and luckily it fit the bolt. As you can see here, the bolt is pretty big. Yeah, so I guess it crunches up in between the original tow hook there and the tow hook. You just screw it on. So we're gonna go ahead and get to installing this tow hook. So a little piece of advice I want to give you guys is, when doing this, lift up your car to make it easier to get both of your hands in there. It's kind of hard to do it with one hand, trying to hold the tow hook, because it is a little bit heavy, and trying to get the bolt in from the other side as well as hold the other bracket. So it's kind of hard to get it in without either removing your front bumper or lifting up the car, and I was too lazy to remove the front bumper in order to lift up my car. So that is why I struggled, and it took me about like 10 minutes just to get this thing to bolt on correctly. And the bolt just has enough space for the nut to go in there, and you have to kind of crunch the brackets together in order to get the bolt in. But yeah, besides that, I mean, I ended up getting it on, but it took me about 10 minutes. So just enjoy the rest of this time lapse, and we'll get back to this. All right, the front tow hook is finally on after like 20 minutes of struggling to get that single bolt on. And just a piece of advice, like I said before, just lift up your car and make your life a lot easier. But I don't know how I feel about the orange. I might paint it, and I'm gonna make a separate video on that if I do. I kind of have an idea of what color, but now let's get to the rear tow hook. All right, so it's the next day, and it started pouring like crazy when I was driving here. But yeah, let's get to the rear tow hook. So this one I ordered from Nangoon, Japan, and this one took about 3 months for me to get. Just a little advice: if you guys are gonna order stuff, try to go through Right Hand Drive Japan first. They're a lot faster with their shipping service, and I've had a couple issues with Nangoon, but regardless, here's a rear tow hook, and it goes on the rear tow hook of the car. I mean, you could put it on either side that you'd like, but I'm going to put it on this side of the car since I already have the exhaust shield on the other side. But yeah, it's just the tow hook here. Obviously this bracket here that goes on the other side, and I already tested it out. That's why it's a little beat up. Of course, the instructions with the pictures, which the pictures are really helpful, I must say. Even though they're in Japanese, they give you an idea of how the stuff goes and where it goes. You could just look at the pictures for reference on how to put the part on, I guess you could say. But here we have the bolt, and the actual nut is a 14 millimeter. I believe the back is a 17, if I'm not mistaken. but I'm just going to use a 14 millimeter and the wrench to put it on. All right, the rear tow hook, the front tow hook are finally on. And what I like about the rear tow hook is you could angle it up or down. And I decided to angle it a little bit up. And that's just the way I like it. But like I said before, the front and the rear tow hook, I'm going to either re-powder coat or repaint them myself, which is probably going to be the more likely option of me painting them myself. And I'm going to do something else to them. So you guys stay tuned for that. I also did want to say that the Skyline is actually driving straight and not shaking anymore. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but when I would drive, the front would feel kind of shaky and the front wheel would feel like it was going like that as I was driving. I got the front wheel, I got all the wheels rebalanced, and I changed the front tie rods, and I got an alignment. So now the car is running completely smooth, and finally, what you guys have been asking for, I could finally make a video on the Revel USA coilovers, which Revel is the same company, I believe, as Tanabe. But with that being said, that video is coming up shortly, so just stay tuned for that. I'm just trying to figure out where to take the car in order to make that video. But overall, the car's been running good now. The only problem is now that I'm having with the Skyline is it makes a weird knocking noise coming from the transmission area when I turn it on in the mornings when it's cold out. It might just be the oil that was put onto the transmission, but I'm going to go ahead and change that out and then see if that changes anything. But I'll keep you guys updated, and for sure the S14 videos are coming. Trust me, I have so much planned for that car, and I have most of the stuff ready. So I'm just waiting for a couple things, and the videos are going to start rolling. Please believe me. Stay tuned, subscribe. Once again, Ed Range, peace.